From electrics to centuries-old acoustics, they're all getting set in place for a big guitar auction in New York City. This guitar is one of the highlights, an Irvine Laser played by Johnny Winter with an estimated value of between $300,000 and $350,000. The guitars here are highly valued, due in part to who played them.
We do have certain electric guitars played by some of the most famous rock and roll artists who ever lived. Stevie Ray Vaughn, Eddie Van Halen. We have a guitar owned by Ringo Starr but played by John Lennon.
Stevie Ray Vaughn signed this guitar in 1990, the year he died. Its estimated value is between $250,000 to $500,000. Then there's this guitar, which Eddie Van Halen bought in 1982. It has an estimated value of between $55,000 and $75,000. Ringo Starr's guitar, played by John Lennon, is valued between $30,000 and $50,000. And then there's a 1988 Fender Stratocasters signed by Eric Clapton with an estimated value of up to $3,500. The auction will also feature 20 instruments from the private collection of Grammy Award-winning guitarist George Benson.
When he had heard that we were doing this auction, that he said, "Hey, look, I've got a closet full of guitars. They're not doing me any good sitting here. Let's put them in the auction." And I was thrilled for that, as you can imagine. Most of them were custom made for him.
Like this one, which took 12 years to construct and has an estimated value of between $10,000 and $15,000. Tony Mottola's 1952 Gibson is valued between $60,000 and $70,000. Mottola played with Frank Sinatra and performed on The Tonight Show. And then there's this 1939 Euphonon valued at $60,000 to $70,000.
This is it, known as the Superjumbo. Really considered one of the most treasured guitars in the world. It came from a world-famous collection. It was played by Django Reinhardt, who once owned it, the great jazz musician of the 1930s.
There are some unusual guitars that will be auctioned off, like a tattooed Gibson, valued between $25,000 and $40,000, and a Hawaiian steel guitar valued at up to $5,000. Then there's this, the Marilyn Guitar. Only a handful were ever made. The top end of this guitar's estimate, $1 million. In all, more than 200 guitars will be auctioned off this weekend and could bring in millions of dollars. I'm Rhonda Schaffler for The Street.